Good morning, everyone. You ever have one of those days where things just don't turn out quite like you expected them to? Well, that's my morning today. We're back in San Francisco, California this morning, and I wanted to start this video off with a bang. We're still gonna see the awesome thing that I was intending to show you guys, just with a little twist I wasn't expecting. Everywhere you look, everywhere there's a heart, or somebody who needs you. Look at this, look at that, Allie. It's the ultimate image of San Francisco. Right here, right on this grass, right yon, is the exact spot where the Tanner family is having a picnic from the opening credits of Full House. This row of houses up here on Steiner Street in San Francisco is very famous. These Victorian homes are known as the Painted Ladies. They were all built in the 1890s and survived the great 1906 San Francisco earthquake that leveled most of the old original architecture like this. This little strip of surviving houses is often known as Postcard Row because so many famous images of San Francisco, literally postcards, are taken of this little strip of painted ladies. But as awesome as all that history is, and it's amazing that these houses survived the earthquake, and as beautiful examples of Victorian architecture as they are, if you grew up in the 80s or 90s like me, or the 90s and 2000s like her, these houses are best known worldwide as the Full House houses. Dude, I've been to San Francisco umpteen zillion times, and other than driving past once, I've never actually got out and stood here before. The thing that strikes me about these, standing in front of them, is that they're way bigger than they seem like they are. They're so tall and skinny that they look like they're gonna be small, but they're huge. So anyway, Allie and I took an Uber up here from the Walt Disney Family Museum. Like, let's start off with a bang. Let's start with everywhere you look. But when we turned the corner, I just saw all this construction and this big fence, and I was like, no, my dream! Ever since I was a kid, I always had a dream of running in the park here in Alamo Square and getting that shot, you know, when they're running up and then the camera's on the ground, like, everywhere you look. And I was thinking, no, I'll never be able to sit where the Tanner family had a picnic because there's a fence. But luckily, San Francisco knows what we came for. So just behind all of this gnarly construction, they left one little patch of grass open so we could stand here and get the shot. And it turns out, from comparing the screenshot of the beginning of Full House to here, the exact spot would have been somewhere right near where they've planted this tree. Right about here. You can see the red car in the intro, parked right along this road, and in the background you can see this house, pretty much to this house. My lens is a little different, doesn't zoom in quite as far. But this was the spot. I can finally live my dream. Wow, I'm a Tanner now. I'm a Tanner. You know what's weird? I was just thinking about the fact that I had Bob Saget in a video on this channel, and now I'm standing in front of his home. Actually, I'm not. Even though they got the awesome running shot in this park, and you see those in the opening credits, and even though all of us always assumed that the Tanner house was one of these houses in the background of the opening credits, the house that they showed on TV in between all those clips of family love and drama and attention was not one of the Painted Ladies. In fact, it's not even on this block, it's like a ways down the hill. So to see the Tanner house, we're actually gonna have to leave the Painted Ladies, get one shot of Allie doing the opening credits run. All right, now we're Full House brothers. And call an Uber to head into another part of town. Ooh, here's our Uber right here. Okay, down the hill, just a little ways away. I like this, sightseeing by Uber. Smart. Just look at that view. Driving in this city gives me anxiety. So I'm glad we took an Uber instead of me driving, believe me. Okay, now we're on the right street. This right here was Danny Tanner's house. Dang, looks like Danny Tanner has been making a little bit more money since they started making Fuller House. Because they're doing a little bit of construction over here. Looking good. You know you're in the right spot when you see this sign over here. Look at that right there. This is perfect right here. We need to be quiet and respect the neighbors. This is my favorite part right here at the bottom. Don't make anyone say, how rude. Here I was trying to be quiet, and then they start doing that. Look at this, dude. This is so cool. And look down here. It's Danny Tanner's side yard. Hey, there really is a backyard back there. This house is a lot bigger when you're up close to it than you would think it is. But I still say there's no way that the Full House house could fit inside that house. Just saying. Dude, it's so awesome that they're remodeling Uncle Joey's basement. Dave Coulier is gonna be stoked. It's crazy what a huge icon Full House is, because the whole time we've been standing here, I would say dozens of people have stopped to take a picture in the middle of the week. Like when I think San Francisco, I pretty much think of Golden Gate Bridge, Alcatraz, and Full House. Well, I also think of the Walt Disney Family Museum and Alley, but mostly I think of Full House. Now, I loved that show. I had a huge crush on DJ when I was a little kid. I watched tons and tons of episodes, but I have to admit, full disclosure, I've never watched Fuller House. Did you ever watch Fuller House?
Yeah.
You like it?
I mean, it's okay.
You see, that's why I haven't watched it. If the Olsen twins show up on Fuller House, I'll give it a whirl. This is great, you know? It really is, seeing this house. I feel like there's so many movie locations and TV filming locations in LA that you don't really care about them because there's just a billion. But in San Francisco, there's not quite as many, so you like appreciate them more. First of all, you have this. And then I just thought of another super awesome, iconic San Francisco filming location we've got to go to. First though, since the house is empty and under construction right now, I'm gonna go ahead and do what every other tourist has done so far. I'm gonna go full tourist and get a fun pic on the steps. Allie's taking the fun pic right now. And then just really quickly, since nobody's here, since it's under construction, I'm touching Danny Tanner's door. I would never, ever do that if someone was living in that house, ever. I did it though. I was a tourist. Yes. Okay, we gotta call another Uber. Dude, that is pretty cool. You know what? I wonder which one Kimmy Gibbler's house was. Tons online about the Tanner house, but which one's Kimmy Gibbler's? Ooh. It's a little more expensive, but it's a lot easier than driving around the city. Dude, that one was such a quick ride, I didn't even have time to film getting out of the car. But look at this. It looks a little different because there's a tree right in front of it right now, but do you recognize this house on the corner? Don't give it away, don't give it away. Picture, if you will, a mobile petting zoo truck parked right in front of this house. Kids and animals everywhere on this street. And then a very angry Sally Field coming home right here, trying to walk up her steps and catching a goat eating her flowers. You ate my begonias! Have you figured it out yet? This is the Mrs. Doubtfire house. This is the house that Robin Williams gets kicked out of, away from his kids, has to move into a sad apartment, all lonely and sad. Then he sneaks back in by dressing up as a lady and becoming his own children's nanny. It's Mrs. Doubtfire. You've seen Mrs. Doubtfire. Everyone's seen, if you haven't seen Mrs. Doubtfire, spoiler alert, it's good. Dude, Mrs. Doubtfire is not only a good movie, but another iconic San Francisco movie for people who grew up when I did. And this house became something of an impromptu shrine to Robin Williams when he passed away just a little while ago. All the mourners came outside the house and left flowers and all kinds of stuff. What did you leave here, Allie? You came here and left something, right?
Yeah, we left some pictures. We wrote on a rock.
And it wasn't just Allie. Look at the tree underneath the front door, covered with messages for Robin Williams. Rip Robin everywhere here. Even the sidewalk still got messages for Robin Williams. It looks like most of them have started to fade away, but some of them are still here. It's crazy. People loved him so much, they'll come to this house that he didn't live in, obviously, just to do something. Ah, frog stuck in my throat. Eyes getting sweaty with respect.
They had like lots of flower pots and like notes, pictures.
Like the whole stairs were covered with
the
stuff?
whole stairs.
How many people were out here when you came?
Like hundreds, I don't know, a lot.
Jeez.
They had like big rocks out here on the ground and people were riding on them. I don't know what they did with them. Maybe they gave them to the family.
How long after he passed away was that?
Not that long.
Less than a week, right? It wasn't that long. Oh, this stuff, man. It's like a duck spit in my eye. Makes me a little, it chokes me up hardcore, especially this. Genie, now you're free. Except they spelled genie wrong, so that helps. Ah, such a mix of happiness and sadness here. Don't want to think about the sadness. I want to think about the happiness. Gotta think about that scene where Mrs. Doubtfire flips off Pierce Brosnan from the window. Ah, oh, I'm starting to feel better. I would show you a picture of it, but you know. Well, you know what it looks. It's just a finger. It's like this, but a different one. See, you think Pierce Brosnan's the bad guy in the movie, but the real bad guy was the lady that lived in that house right there. Because she's the lady that got mad about the petting zoo party and called Sally Field in the first place. See, no one ever thinks about that, and it's right after Sally Field gets that phone call and she hears Pierce Brosnan's back in town. If this fictional neighbor right here had just minded her own beeswax. Maybe Robin Williams wouldn't have had to dress up as an old lady, huh? And then maybe him and GoldenEye James Bond could have been best friends and made the best buddy comedy ever. Dude, I can see why they picked this house now. There's a really good view from up here of the bay. I don't know what these houses are worth, but a lot of money, because these are some big boys. It's funny because they're all wedged together, so they look all small, but this is like a massive house right here. For example, this door, I swear to you, this door is like twice as wide as a normal door. Dude, you could put two people side by side and walk through that door. This is the weirdest city. Everything's just like stretched and smashed, and it's all weird. But there it is, Mrs. Doubtfire's house, right on the corner of Steiner and Broadway, which incidentally, Steiner Street is the same street as the Painted Ladies. They're just way miles up the hill. We just saw an elderly gentleman come out of the front door of that house, and I really wanted to say out loud, "Oh, Mr. Doubtfire," but I kept it in. Well, there you have it, Mrs. Doubtfire's house. And just like Rice-A-Roni, it's the San Francisco treat. So long, Mrs. Doubtfire's house. It's time for us to grab another Uber and head down the hills. We could take a bus, but almost every time I take the bus, I end up going to the wrong spot and getting lost, so this is way smarter. Ugh. Tried to walk a little ways, but you gotta take these big steps down the hill. What a fun one. Ooh, free crock pot. Ah, this city is so weird and so gorgeous and so unique. Gotta come back pretty soon when it's a little warmer. All right, the car is on its way. Woohoo! And there he goes, another new friend Uber driver off into the sunset. Okay, we're back in the Presidio in San Francisco. And all these big white buildings here in the background, those are all the headquarters of Lucasfilm. The headquarters of Star Wars. I guess super technically it wasn't a date, but really kind of. Allie and I's first date was right here. We were taking a walk down here on a windy day, getting lost, trying to find this. Lucasfilm. And why would we come to Lucasfilm? Is it because we're in the new Star Wars movies? Sadly, no. It's to see this. The Yoda Fountain. Look at him. He's so wise. Look at Yoda right there. Amazing. I've seen a lot of fountains in my time. Paris, London, New York. But this gets my vote for the greatest fountain of all time. Yep, we were down here looking for someone. Looking? Found someone you have, I would say. My Yoda's really bad today. Dude, this is the headquarters of Lucasfilm. This is where they make all the magic happen these days. ILM is here, they plan all the Star Wars movies. I'm pretty sure the Star Wars story group is here that controls what happens in the Star Wars universe. And now that they're making good Star Wars movies again, shh, don't tell anyone here I said that. It makes this place all the more special. Think of all the secrets in this building right now. Okay, I gotta tear myself away. Well, I really just came here to reminisce about Allie and say hello to Yoda over here. Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. I think most of my philosophy in life came from Empire Strikes Back Yoda, man. Heck yeah. Now, as wonderful as this is, I'm not gonna get an invitation into Lucasfilm anytime soon, so we're gonna have to head away from here with this beautiful view of the Palace of Fine Arts. Look at that right there. They had a copy of that in DCA, but nowadays the DCA version is the entrance to the Little Mermaid ride, so that should look pretty familiar to you, huh, Allie? Well, you're probably familiar with both because you're from up here. I suddenly miss Whoopi Goldberg. Ah! C-3PO's in there. Think of how much rad stuff is up there. Props, collectibles, George. What's really great is how many of the employees at Lucasfilm I've seen walking around wearing Star Wars shirts. Keep walking, Allie, it's the fuzz. Act natural, act natural. Look at that. Be cool. Why'd they wave at me like that? You don't think they know, do you? I parked in front of a fire hydrant earlier, but it was just for a second, I swear. Look at that, the San Francisco Bay and the Golden Gate Bridge over there. I love it here, it's beautiful. You got Star Wars headquarters here. The Walt Disney Family Museum is just over here, which if you're a Disney fan at all, you should definitely visit. Check out my video about it. Just Google Walt Disney Family Museum, Random Land. All that stuff is great. It's wonderful, I love it. But there's another reason why I love this place. Right down here on Graham Street, very special memories for me. Allie and I were walking back to the museum from the old Yoda Fountain, and she stopped right over here on these steps. I already knew that she liked me, but then she was standing over here, looking so beautiful and cute with the wind blowing her hair around. The bay was in the background. It was a nice warm day, well, warm for San Francisco. And right here is where she kissed me. For the first time ever. Look at that right there. That's our first kiss right there, Allie. Spoiler alert, we've had a lot more kisses since then, but this one will still be the most special. Ooh.
I was going for your cheek, but you turned.
What? No.
Yeah.
No. No. Don't try to make it sound better. Sorry to make it all mushy on you guys here at the end. Sorry to make it all mushy. I don't care, I'll be mushy all day. I'll be mushy all day with you. Okay, and then last but not least, Allie and I are going back into the Walt Disney Family Museum over there because they've got a display on the art of Pinocchio and I gotta go renew my membership. Thank you guys for coming with us on this trip. Pretty soon we're gonna have to head back home. I've got an apartment to finish unpacking and we've got a kitten to find. You got work to do, you gotta get back to work. But for now, we've done our duty. So right after we go in this museum, we can go home and sleep well. Goodbye everybody, bye-bye. You guys are still here? Why do you always wait around for? Nothing funny is going to happen. Hey.